step in the ring, it's all for show. Bright lights cut through the haze. Every round feels like a blaze. No retreat, it's time to go. Feels like a blaze. No retreat, it's time to go.
Let's get it on!
Sprawl and brawl, ground and pound. Get ready for an MMA showdown. Now, the ultimate Octagon Insider, Sean and Tristan DuCross.
Yo, what's up, fight fans? It's your boy, Tristan DuCross. Alongside, as always, is my brother and my partner in crime, the one and only Sean DuCross. We are the DuCross Brothers. We are a combat sports talk show from pro wrestling to boxing to MMA. We got it covered from top to bottom. That's why we are called the Sports Warriors. That's why we are the ones that cross that line. Real talk, real fights by your boys. Simple as that. We've got a stacked show tonight for you guys. Dustin Poirier just retired. And is he the greatest fighter to never win an undisputed title? Ben Askren, literally, well, no, we're not going to touch on that one. But we got Jake Paul cashing rings, cashing checks, love him or hate him, he's making noise. And Usyk, we talked about it last week. I was hoping for the boys, but unfortunately, Usyk, is he that man that might walk away as the baddest heavyweight of this era? So, let's go. Hype, this literally could be one of the best kind of hidden gem show that you probably could see on if you're an MMA combat sports fight fan. This probably is the unsung hero show is this one. So, Sean, Dustin Poirier, right? We always talk about legacy. Apparently, we love talking about legacy lately, don't we?
It's one of those things that, Tristan, that when you talk about legacy always pops up.
It does, right?
It's always something that has to be talked about at some point. And before we get into the show and everything else, you can't forget about legacy and one of the gentlemen that left a trailblazing path across the globe, across the universe, and that is Hulk Hogan. We have to pay homage to Hulk Hogan and rest in peace. And he passed away today at 71, and it was one of those things that when you talk about Hulk Hogan, he's had some good things, he's had some bad things. But one thing that you cannot take away from Hulk Hogan is that when you listen to people talk about wrestling, they talk about moments. And when you think wrestling, you can't think bigger moments than what Hulk Hogan did in creating the Hulkamaniacs.
Right.
Or when he joined the NWO with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash.
And probably he's the one that led 83 weeks with WCW.
So, good, bad, or indifferent of what his personal life was and what his son was in trouble with, at the end of the day, the legacy and the magnitude of what he did for wrestling itself.
If you put about all the BS aside about him personally, about what you think about your personal stuff against him, right? His accolades is what we're talking about. I don't want to talk about the person, Terry Bollea. We're talking about Hulk Hogan.
Right.
The icon. The one that literally put pro wrestling on the map.
Made WWE, WWF what it is.
WrestleMania 1 was because of him. He's a legend.
An icon.
And it sucks that we lose a man of his stature, regardless of what you think of him as a person. If you just look at him as Hulk Hogan and what he's done for the sport.
Yeah. Just ignore everything else and just look at what he did for wrestling. And good, bad, or indifferent, he's on everybody's Mount Rushmore. That's where he belongs. And that's when you think about wrestling's Mount Rushmore, Tristan.
He's on top.
The first guy that comes up on everybody's Mount Rushmore. I'll put Hulk Hogan. I'll put Ric Flair. I'll put Sting. And then you could go any other way from there.
Yep.
You could think even like Triple H of that era of what he did as the Game. What he did for wrestling. You can even talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin being on that Mount Rushmore. So the first three in my eyes are very solidified.
Who are your three on Mount Rushmore?
So Hulk Hogan,
Yes.
Ric Flair, and
Right.
Sting.
Okay.
The other two can go either way.
Right. Okay.
You could go so many different ways.
I was going to say, you got to add our boy, the icon Stinger, in there.
For
Because
sure.
We're a Stinger fan, so we're always going to have them. I have him on our Mount Rushmore.
I'm going to always have to have them there. It's one of those things that...
But, man, when they really say celebrities go in threes, there is no joke about that at all. You literally are clock watching the news. When one falls, another one falls, and you're just like, okay, who's next? But when Dad and I got that notification, our immediate reaction was like, no, this is a joke. Like, this ain't freaking true. Then we both Googled, and we turn on the news, and what's the first thing all over the news? Hulk Hogan has died at 71. He's younger than our dad, dude.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy right now. Malcolm Jamal Warner, 56. Like, people are losing battles that they should never be losing battles. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yes and no. I mean, you look at Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's done a lot to his body.
That's probably true. But I'm just saying is
Malcolm
that
Jamal Warner got sucked into a current.
Yeah.
That's terrible. But Hulk Hogan, dude did a lot to his body.
Mm-hmm.
He probably lived a lot longer than he probably should have. Just like people probably think Ric Flair probably has 9 lives.
Dad and I were talking about that too. Out of everything, Sean, Ric Flair's still here.
Right.
Wooing, styling, and profiling. Like, this dude literally walked into a cancer thing, had his head ripped open apart to take out cancer, 46 stitches in his head and in his tricep, and this boy is still ticking. He had a 2% chance of staying alive, and this fool kicked out at 1.
He did a good job
Like,
of no-selling in his career.
Yeah, he no-sold the 2%. Jesus, Murphy, dude. I don't understand wrestlers. I really don't. But, man, he's going to be missed.
For sure.
TNA did a little thing for them at the beginning of the show tonight and had, what was it? Santino Marella.
Yeah.
Said, make sure you take your vitamins and whatever else it was, brothers and sisters.
Take your vitamins, say your prayers.
Yep. Yeah, he ended his speech with that, and I thought that was pretty damn cool. Like, you didn't have to do a lot, but the way he was able to throw it in there, telling the fans, say your prayers, take your vitamins, brothers and sisters, I was like, ooh, that gave me chills. Good job, Santino Marella, for TNA. You guys, that was just a cool moment for the opening segment with him holding that promo in the middle of the ring.
What was a cool moment this week is that when you look at Dustin Poirier finally retiring from the octagon and going out exactly how we said he was going to go out. Dude, that was a banger of a bout between the both of them. It was just interesting that when you look at Max Holloway, and Max Holloway does the point in the last round of come to the middle, and Dustin Poirier grapples.
Sean, I told you that with the amount of volume that was going to be thrown around in this fight, right? Bro, they landed the 4th all-time most strikes in a fight.
I told you.
They threw 1,700 significant strikes.
I told you. You doubted me that
Bro.
they weren't going to go out on their shield.
No, I get that they wanted to go out on their shield. I get it because it's Dustin Poirier. And he's in his hometown. Like, this was the end all. This was his idea. But, man, you want to talk about being war-tested? This fight was exactly that. War-tested. Put inside of an octagon for violence. And that's what they delivered.
You know what's interesting about this is that, so we talked about a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, about Jose Aldo, about being Hall of Fame caliber. What is his takeaway? What is something that, like, is he really a Hall of Famer? And it's interesting that when you look at Dustin Poirier, but Dustin Poirier didn't win gold.
Right.
But if you look at his track record, right, he's a Hall of Famer straight up because he beat guys that were champions in the UFC. Conor McGregor, Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje, Alvarez, Pettis. He holds the UFC third all-time in wins with 22 wins.
Bro,
he has
15 finishes.
Dude. You
10 of the 10 fight night bonuses. Name who has more than him.
It's one of those things, Tristan, that just on paper, what he did, Hall of Fame career. It's like watching baseball and you get those guys that are like, he's a gray area Hall of Famer.
Yep.
But stats should speak volumes as to what you accomplish rather than what you don't accomplish. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes it's great to have those championships in all sports, depending on what you're playing. But it doesn't really define you. What
Guys,
defines you...
if you're just tuning into us right now, drop in the chat. Let us know if you think Dustin Poirier is a Hall of Famer. We are Sean and Tristan DuCross talking about Dustin Poirier's retirement fight and how it went. We're the DuCross Brothers. Cross that line.
So it's really an easy discussion for me versus Dustin Poirier versus Jose Aldo. If you're going to talk about who should be in the Hall of Fame out of those two, 100% easy conversation, Dustin Poirier. It's just going to be weird to see him not fighting anymore. Because, I mean, consider the guy said that he's going to go out, he's going to get big, and he's going to do steroids and all that other stuff. It was funny.
Well, all the power to him. I tip my hat to Dustin Poirier for what he has done, because legacy or not, this guy had the most heart inside that cage to go to war, go to battle every single time. So you give it up for him, Sean. I'll tip my hat to him. Look, Sean. Tip your hat. Tip your hat to
I'm
him.
not taking my hat off.
Sean.
No.
If I got messed up hair too,
No,
you can tip your hat.
you're good.
Tip your hat to the greatest. Right. Show it. But yeah, Sean. So it's just interesting to see, like you said, without him being in a fighting capacity, I definitely will be interested to see, Sean, where he goes in his secondary career.
It's going to be interesting to see what his secondary career is going to be like. Is he going to be one of those guys that's going to do commentary?
But, Sean, when we talk about legacy, there's another person that apparently that joins those lines. And again, we're talking about a fighter legacy that meets mainstream. And none other than the girl who is about to hit film. And that is Christy Martin's biopic. And it's being played. I'm just saying. Pretty good choice, just saying. Sydney Sweeney has been training 6 months to portray Christy Martin. if you haven't seen her development in the martial arts, you're missing out because on Instagram, it is wild. But we've seen celebrities all of a sudden take this role and all of a sudden go to that next level. We saw, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with his marker. Like
you saw Halle Berry.
Right.
For some reason,
when some reason you get into these mindsets, into these roles, it's like a whole 100% dive in, and they're going full board with it.
Because Tristan, when you take on a combat type of personality, you can't halfway go with it because it's got to look as authentic and real as possible. And you can thank Sylvester Stallone for that moment. If Sylvester Stallone never does Rocky, doesn't do Creed, doesn't bring Michael B. Jordan into that era, then you probably don't have all these type of actors wanting to take it to the next level to make it as authentic and real as possible. Because you can see when movies are made, it's like, it's a little sketch.
Right.
But when it's really them and they're really putting it all in and doing the best part, it's more of an interesting movie to watch. I mean, you could go back to the wrestling movie that just happened with the females. I forgot what it was, but
the Queen of the Ring or something like that?
Sure.
With Toni Storm.
Yeah, she was in it.
Yeah.
But the female lead in that one did the same thing. She trained wrestling. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things that, like, Stephen Amell
did the same thing. Everybody on that show did the same thing.
You've got to be one of the people that are out there putting 100% effort into it.
But it's crazy, Sean, because when you look at Christy Martin on who she is, and if you guys don't know who she is, pro record was 49-7 and 3 draws. She was the boxer for boxers like Julio Cesar Chavez. That's your female equivalent. Like, that is crazy to me.
You also got to remember, she was a trailblazer, and she was the first female boxer signed by Don King.
Yep.
That goes to
always fought under Mike Tyson's undercards. Who does that kind of remind you right now?
Serrano.
What cards does she always fight underneath?
Jake Paul.
There you go. She got, I mean, this is where it all went sideways right for her, is that she ended up getting shot in the chest from her abusive husband, and she survived, but she was never the same after that.
But that's what's going to be interesting about this biopic, because you're going to be able to see the start of her career, the end of her career, and what a legacy she had for women's boxing. If you're Jake Paul, you would want to showcase that.
I would figure out how to bring this biopic to a forefront if I'm Jake Paul, because he's doing something with the women's boxing and the amazing thing that he's doing for the women's boxing. Do something like with this film. Promote this film. Blow it up, because I believe, and I honestly, truly believe, any new people that are coming into the combat sports world, boxing world, pro wrestling world, podcast world, whatever it may be, right, Sean? This could introduce new fans, a new generation, about what boxing was back in the day that it is kind of going towards now if you're looking at Jake Paul.
You know what's interesting about this this film?
What did you find? John,
Ben
you're always
Foster.
doing something.
Ben Foster.
Is in it?
Yes.
Woohoo!
He plays Jim Martin, which I'm assuming is Christy Martin's husband.
Yep.
If you know, I've always been a fan of Ben Foster. Ben Foster has been one of the most underrated actors for quite some time.
Right. But then, Sean, who else in boxing would deserve this kind of fate? I have one.
Who?
Erin Tohill.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
She's had her ups and downs with her whole entire career. And then you look at where she's at today, vastly different. So I think that would be an amazing and interesting biopic to see what that looks like, because there's so much back history and story to Aaron that not a lot of people do, because some of the stuff is either closed off to people.
But Tristan, you could go back to us talking to Aaron Tohill.
Yeah, absolutely.
And listen to our like, I think we did like 5 different interviews with Aaron Tohill.
Yep.
Crossing all different ranges with Aaron Tohill and what a unique individual she really is. So, yeah, I could get behind that. And I'd be interested to see if Aaron Tohill would be interested in that. So, I think after this, we should probably tag her in it.
Right? I'm down for that. But, man, are you down for Abu Dhabi? Because here goes UFC. We got Whittaker versus the Ritter. This fight that, on all accounts, I don't like it for Whittaker.
It depends on the way you look at it, because if Whittaker can keep the fight standing, it'll be perfectly fine.
That's why, again, I look at these two different contrasts of fighters, right, Sean? Is that one's a strike up and one's a grappler.
Right. But you also got to look at Whittaker's takedown defense is at 81%. He's not easy. He's not an easy takedown.
But he's never faced a guy that is heavy on top.
But in order to be heavy on top, Tristan, he needs to get him down.
Sean, when I wrestled you and I put all my pressure on you, what do you always call me? What do you always think that I am? Go ahead. Let the people know.
I can't remember now.
I'm a...
Oh.
Yeah, see? When we wrestled and I was a heavy grappler and I used all my weight, you would always say, God damn, you are a heavy. Yeah. So again, Whittaker, when you're looking at the size and you're looking at a heavy grappler, I'm sorry, man. This guy almost gets 5 takedowns a fight, and he will ride and grind you. Doesn't exactly sound according to plan, but okay. He's going to smother you if he gets you to the ground, Sean. And he will hold you there and take it a line permanently.
But you got to give Whittaker more props than that. Because, again, you're talking about a guy that, yeah, he's very good on the ground. But Whittaker's no slouch.
No.
He averages almost 5 strikes a round. You've got to look, or 5 strikes a minute. You look at his takedown defense, good footwork, crisp, clean. If he's on his game,
he's on his game.
He's on his game. When he's off, he's off.
And that's the thing.
So that's where I think the Ritter has a little bit more advantage, because I think that the Ritter is more mentally strong. Mm-hmm. And Robert Whittaker has shown at times to be sometimes mentally weak. And that he doesn't often comes in 100% the same type of form every single bout. I could be wrong, but that's just my observation when I do watch him fight.
Okay, so again, Sean, here we go. We have a classic striker versus a classic grappler. If Rob is able to keep that distance and keep him at bay with the takedowns, in MMA today, Sean, what wins? Clean striking or pure ground control?
It's going to be clean striking, because if Robert Whittaker can keep the distance with his striking, with his volume, with his output, that's going to keep the Ritter at a distance, because he's not going to want to shoot. If he shoots, he's risky getting clipped. So the Ritter is going to have to set up his takedowns and absorb some volume to try to get inside the clinch, to try to get the fight to the ground where he's going to benefit.
Right. I can see that.
But he's going to have to do it quickly, because as the fight goes on, it's going to benefit Whittaker.
See, I think that's where the Ritter has it. Because if he could apply his weight to Whittaker, and you allow Whittaker to start sucking oxygen, I think that's going to be the downfall of Whittaker.
It's going to be an interesting fight this weekend. What was an interesting fight this past weekend as well was the fact that Usyk knocked out Dubois I told you. You didn't want to believe it. But it happened. It was one of those things, one of those moments. 5th round knockout.
I really didn't want that to happen.
I know you didn't. You let everybody know last week.
And he hit him so goddamn hard.
He hit him so much. 88 significant strikes to 47, bro. He hit the Dubois didn't even, basically it was Dubois came in, collected a paycheck, and got knocked out for it.
Dude, that left hand was surgical.
What is it? He called
He
his
literally
left hand
had
Ivar?
him. He literally had him hit him with the right and literally came right around with his left as he was forcing him into the left.
But he calls his left hand what? Ivan?
Yes, Ivan.
I was like, wait, what?
But Sean, I haven't seen a boxer control a ring like Usyk did against Dubois. The way that, like I said, Sean, the way that he started from here and pushed him against the ropes, and as he was drifting this way against the ropes is when he wrapped that left.
Bro, I told you.
Like, that's
surgical. I told you. One of the best pure technical boxers in boxing for a heavyweight. Like, somebody asked him something that I didn't really understand until I saw this one. If you go back and look at Usyk, whether he wins or loses the first fight, and I say first fight because this was the second time that he fought Dubois.
yes. He can't fight him. He can't fight anybody else again.
Every time he's fought somebody 2 times.
Right.
Every time. The second fight around has always been 100% decisive by Usyk.
Yep.
It's never been like, there's a gray area here. He really didn't win it. No. He wins unanimously or convincingly. There is nothing that this guy can't do or doesn't do. And when you talk about his legacy and what he does, because that seems to be the trend today, he's cleaning out the heavyweight division in boxing.
Sean, he is now 240 pounds. He's a 3-time undisputed champ. Never been knocked down. It is safe to say that when we talk about the Klitschko's, we talk about the Lewises, and we talk about the heavyweights of yesteryear, there is nobody on the level of the devil.
And
Did you get it?
200,
Did you
it's not 240. He's 24-0.
Oh, 24-0. My bad. But Sean, he's not on the same level as the devil. 24-0. The question, though, Sean, is because after the post, just like what all heavyweights do, right? Crying, sobbing in the middle. My career's winding down. I don't know how much left I have. But Usyk, to be 24-0 as a heavyweight and, like you say, clean everybody out, simply called out Fury, Joshua, Chisora, Parker. Does he take his 24-0, his undisputed record, his undisputed reign as the world heavyweight champion, take his ball and go home? Or does he keep his ball, center it inside that squared circle, and say, look right across to the camera and say, Parker, you're next. Or Fury, let's make it a legacy fight. Since we're all about legacy tonight, let's make it a legacy fight. Fury versus Usyk 3.
No.
Make a fight on the mountain.
No. Stop. I like Tyson Fury. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a great boxer. However, you have lost not once, but twice to Usyk. And the last one, even though it was a unanimous decision.
He got worked.
But he got beat up pretty bad in that bout.
He got murked. Yeah.
It was the first bout was more competitive. The one was pretty like, Fury, I like you. You not ready.
So then who do you have?
If you're listening to Usyk, and Usyk says that he's had 1 to 2 more fights left, then go with your WBO mandatory competitor and go with Parker. Parker's coming off a win against Joshua.
So then that would be the end all. That would be the coup de grace for Usyk then. Get Parker, another title on the line, put your O against his O, and let's see what can be done. Mega fight. This might have money written all over it just because it could be the last fight of him.
Right.
And it could either make a new face of the heavyweight division or the legacy of one will grow and he steps out to the sunset, off into the sunset.
Exactly. Like, if you're going to think about retirement, go do what you do best, and that is competitive bouts and nothing more than that, even though that he had a lot of people talking because of the fact a random face square off happened with him and Jake Paul.
Yep.
Like, where what? Why was Jake Paul even there? I don't even understand why he was even there at that fight.
Why did he come out of the woodshed? That's what I want. That's what I'm curious about. He came out of nowhere to get inside that squared circle. A place where that guy technically does not even belong. He had no reason to be in there to stir up anything, John. So that's crazy for me if you think about it. I'm sorry, but that's one thing I'll draw the line. That guy needs to just stay in his lane. Like, I'm good with what he does, but stay in your lane, bro. Stay in your lane.
Yeah, because it's
just
like,
stay in your lane.
He didn't have any business, and I don't say, Tristan, I don't say he didn't have any business, like, as in, like, what the heck are you doing there? No, he didn't have any business with anybody being there.
Mm-hmm.
So, throw a little bit of fuel on the fire like we did last week with the Conor McGregor and Mike Perry, because people were like, that fight never going to happen because Conor McGregor is still under contract. You dumb. I was like, I got you, though. You'd start talking to us. So it's one of those things that if he's got 1 or 2 more fights, we've seen Jake Paul go fight at cruiserweight. Can he put on enough weight to be competitive at heavyweight? Could we see Usyk do one more solid bout versus, say, a Parker?
Or Jake Paul?
And then go off in the sunset with one of the most mega fights and go fight Jake Paul. Collect a massive payday and go, I'm out.
Yo, I did not think about that. I mean, he was inside the squared circle.
He did face off
with Usyk.
Granted,
it was a chaotic moment.
I don't think Usyk has the wherewithal at the moment to contemplate that.
I mean, we are about people getting to talk about us, stirring the pot.
We did with Conor McGregor last weekend, Mike Perry. We did it with John Jones. Usyk versus Jake Paul?
Biggest money payday in the history of Usyk.
Or the biggest payday in the history of boxing. More than Canelo and Crawford.
And think about this, though, right? If you get Usyk and Jake Paul as the main focus, right?
Right.
Just thinking out, right?
You're welcome.
Who's on the undercard mostly? All the time. We just talked about it.
Soriano.
Correct. What has he been doing with the women's division?
Putting it on notice.
So, Soriano has made 7 figures now underneath Jake Paul. At this point, I would say you would run the gauntlet, chips all in. Usyk, Jake Paul, Soriano on the undercard, and do you fill out the back ends? That will be the biggest boxing draw probably in the history of boxing in years. Because in 5 years, Jake Paul has done more for boxing than anybody has done for boxing.
But do we go to Abu Dhabi? Do we keep it stateside? Do we go to Wembley?
If you go to Abu Dhabi, you know you got drug money. So they got that FU money, so they can throw it around all they want. So if you're looking at a major payday, sure, go to Abu Dhabi. Maybe they could get their own castle with the gold and everything else in between because of their main stature. But man, that will be the fight. And I would be down for that. I would. And so should you. Sean, so here's a question for you before we go into anything else. We have Jake Paul. He's revolutionary, what he's doing with boxing, right? With the women's boxing paydays, with what he's doing personally. Jake Paul evolution of boxing, or is it an erosion?
When you look at what Jake Paul has done for boxing, it's what they did for the Vine. There are just something about social media and what they're able to do with their net worth and figure it out as they go with their business savviness is ridiculous. This isn't going to go anywhere. Jake Paul is boxing, whether people want to admit it or not. We came to terms with that a year ago.
And it's funny how many people still hate on him. And it's fine. Everybody can have their own opinions. They can have their own perspective.
But if you want to hate on him,
you cannot deny this man's accolades, regardless if you like him as a boxer, as a promoter, you can't touch him.
And you want to talk about the accomplishments that he's had or that he's done and the elevation of the sport. This guy has $1.4 million, social impressions that happen per day on social media. He's generated 18 million plus across just streaming and merch. If that doesn't tell you how significant of a businessman he really is, I don't know what else he has to show to you to show that he is evolving the sport. If you don't like him, then don't watch him. But there's something about it that everybody still watches and still supports it. So when you look at what he's doing, it's one of those things that just doesn't go away. And Jake Paul continues to change the game. And that's where people nowadays need to really sit back and evaluate and understand that you can't hate on Jake Paul for what he does when numbers don't lie and that he shows exactly what you want to see. So when you look at it, it is what it is at this point. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Right.
But yet you're watching it. Why?
Because
so then don't sit there and talk hate on your couch.
That's where we kind of get away from where we are actually at in the combat sports world, right? Because, again, if you're an outsider to this world and you were never involved in it, they hesitate and they pause to instead of opening up their arms and accepting. In a weird way, Sean, we fought through that stigma to get to where we're at today. And you look at Jake Paul, Sean, his legendary status is going to continue to grow regardless of what people think or say or do. I will now be an advocate for Jake Paul because of what he has done as a promoter. Not what he has done inside the ring against the Tyrone Woodleys, the Nate Diaz, the Ben Askrens. No. I want to be the advocate of him for what he's doing for the women's boxing, what he's doing for the boxing sport world as a promoter, and giving back to the fighters, not taking stuff just for himself to pad his pockets.
Because that was the thing that I think a lot of people thought was going to be reality. I think that was the easy way out for people, Tristan, to think that was the way what it is that he was going to eat up everybody's money. He was going to just take it. He was just doing it in spite. And he wasn't here to build the sport.
Right.
But he is here to build the sport.
Yes.
He's here to put people on notice and give back to the boxing world. Can't hate on the guy. Realized that a couple years ago. I wanted to do it so bad. Early on. We did it.
You can't. When I see people use the word hate, I think of jealousy.
And when I see when I hear people talk about hate, hate's just I always say it, hate is such a strong word. It's one
you can never truly hate somebody
or something
because the only thing that is hate that builds into you is a form of jealousy. You're jealous because of the man that has a promoter, like a promoter's background, now elevating boxing. You hate it. Jealousy. This guy's making more money than you in boxing than you ever did. Jealousy, not hate. Jealousy. This guy's headlining pay-per-views and selling out gates more than you could ever do. Jealousy, not hate. This guy has 1.4 million impressions. He has over what? Probably 1 million followers. You don't have that? Jealousy, not hate.
You just dislike the guy because the guy did something you wanted to do yourself.
And you couldn't do it.
It is.
You looked at yourself in the mirror and said, that's what I wanted to be, and you failed at it.
Not everybody's built that way.
No.
Not everybody's built for that grind. Not everybody's willing to sacrifice everyday life to try to achieve greatness. He had the ability to sacrifice everything because he was a Disney kid. He was able to do that because he had success with his brother doing vines at a young age. Then they built on the rapport of who they were and continued to go with the change of the times. That's not hate. That's a grinder.
Yep.
That is somebody who has work ethic. That is somebody that just figured it out before you did and did it much better than you did. That's not hate. It's just jealousy. That's somebody that you dislike.
We in this world
more
are
than
so
anything.
Sean, we in this world, we are so quick to throw that word around, that hate. I hate you. I hate this. I hate this. This is why this world is so freaking out of control. It's because we continue to say that word and not know what the hidden meaning is behind it. It's always going to be jealousy. When somebody hates you, somebody undermines you, somebody dog walks you, it's because somebody is jealous about what you are doing, and they are trying to bring you down to your level.
If you want to hate somebody and you're jealous of it, then work harder. Be smarter.
Climb that ladder.
Don't try to bring somebody down because you can't get there.
Right. You own your own status as long as you work hard at your status. Do you get that? Y'all don't understand what hard work is and what hard work dedication means and what it means to certain people.
Look at you and I.
Right?
We're not
Trying
where we think we should be.
Yeah, we don't.
With our podcast.
Yeah.
But yet we've been doing it for over a decade
Yeah.
in this game. Good, bad, or indifferent. You either love us or you hate us.
We were on ESPN radio. We had a shot going into Fox Sports. Our life turned us into something different, unexpected. But we're not groveling or saying that where we should be or anything like that. No.
We still show up.
We still show up every day.
We do what we do.
We clock in at 7:30 for doing this show. The DuCross Brothers cross that line. It's just not a name, bro. It is a moniker. We cross that line every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Good, bad, or indifferent, we will be here. We are the real talk for real fighters, for real fight fans. There is no fluff. There is no wishy-washy. There is none of that. You'll get exactly what we give to you every show.
Just like David Feldman and BKFC were right now when they're going to Philly this weekend.
Philly!
Headlined by Dustin Pog versus Ryan Peterson. This is going to be one of those intriguing fights of the evening on the Philly card. And you look at Pog's last 4 fights, he's got 2 TKOs, 2 split decisions, landed well over 40 significant strikes. Dude's got a reach advantage. Just stay out of the guy's way.
Right? But, Sean, BKFC Philly, they already had their weigh-ins today. Man, it's never a dull moment when you see BKFC's weights, because I forgot who it was, but one of them came in with almost like a Jason mask. And I'm like, bro, why? Why? Why are we doing this? You don't need it. It's not necessary. But with BKFC right around the corner, Sean, elaborate to the fans, who do you got?
So it depends on which way you look at it, because you've got the resume and the pedigree of Pogs and the city behind him. Peterson's not going to be comfortable in this bout. He's not quite to the level of Dustin. Dustin should easily walk away with this bout.
Fair.
The one that I want to mention is probably one that not many people would think we would mention, but I've got to mention it. That's Cody Vidal.
Why did you bring up that name? I haven't heard that name in years.
So we first met Cody.
Yes, we did.
When Cody was running a vitamin shop.
Right here.
And the interesting thing about Cody was his personality.
100%.
And to hear about his MMA background and him running his vitamin shop because he had knee injuries and everything else, he was a very unique individual. And then Bellator came out here and he had a chance to fight on the card. And then again, his knee went out. But the guy just doesn't give up in life. He doesn't give up in anything. All of a sudden, you saw him pop up on a BKFC card, and it's like, really? But if you know just through talking to Cody in the short time that we did, it didn't surprise me that he went this route.
Surely it doesn't surprise me that he went this route, because his MMA career was nothing to hold his head up. But when you look at him, you talk about fighting, that IQ is there. It's just that there's some people that are not meant to fight in MMA. We know another one that's exactly like that, that's finally starting to kind of turn his gears.
Right.
Josh Marr. Right. In the bare knuckle environment. If something's not working for you because it's not cut for you, and BKFC is cut for you, go for it. I'm interested now to see what Cody Vidal brings to the table.
He's 1-1 right now in BK.
Yep.
It's one of those, and he lands a lot at a fast rate, and he's not afraid to get hit. He's an interesting character that if he wins this weekend, there's a chance that he could go after the 185 title eventually. Not now, but eventually. But he's the guy that with his personality alone could sell a fight.
100%.
So if he can keep padding and winning, his personality, his willingness to do interviews that he's been doing across all different multiple platforms and being entertaining and engaging with people that are interviewing him goes a long way. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does this weekend, see if he continues the evolution of his game, and if he could take that next step.
Man, you literally took everything from me when you mentioned Cody Vidal, because I haven't heard that name in years.
He's still our buddy on Facebook.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we may not have talked to him in quite a while.
Yeah.
But we did get to know him a little bit early on.
Right.
And now he's doing his thing.
Again, I'm happy for all these fighters that couldn't make it anymore in MMA. But
and that we talked to them before they got to their spot.
Yep. That's that right there. Until they got to their spot. How many people should know and identify that if something's not going according to plan, where is your spot? Where is your niche? How are you going to get there?
Do you still want to do it?
Do you have that hunger and that drive to push that?
Right.
So it's cool that Cody Vidal has that.
Right.
Because he found it.
I'm going to be interested because, in a weird way, against Maurice Horn, this could be the fight of the night.
It could.
It could steal the show.
And you couldn't pick a better venue or a better city than Philly?
The ECW arena?
Yes. ECW arena for one.
Right.
Philly. Do you all not understand that Philly and the ECW arena was built for violence?
Right. And you got Cody Vidal on it who loves wrestling?
They are definitely going to get turned up in ECW arena, and violence will be on full show all night from beginning to end. It's going to be a violent party.
Right.
Incredible. Incredible. But Sean, drop our socials. Let people know where they can find us.
So you can follow us on TikTok at the DuCross Bros. You can follow us on X, the DuCross Bros. Follow us on Instagram at the.sports.warriors. Find us on Facebook, Sean and Tristan DuCross.
Absolutely. Throw us requests, subscribe, like us, love us, share us. Let's get this platform moving. In the meantime, Sean, shout out to all the people that tuned into us tonight. If you are still in the chat room, want to know what we're all about, we're a combat sports talk show hosted by your boys, Sean and Tristan DuCross. We've been doing this for a long time. We're back at it, chomping at the bit to get back out there and doing our thing. In the process of doing that, subscribe to us, like us, love us, share us, pass us around. Next show, next week, next Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're about this fight life, real talk. So just make sure you guys get after it. But Sean, on our way out, BKFC in Philly, let's get violent.
Gloves unlaced, hearts on fire. This ain't no game, it's desire. Sweat and blood pound the floor. Fight night, here we go. The bell rings loud, the punches flow. Step in the ring, it's all for show. Bright lights cut through the haze. Every round feels like a blaze. No retreat, it's time to go. Bright lights cut through the haze. Every round feels like a blaze. No retreat, it's time to go.
Let's get it on! Sprawl and brawl, ground and pound. Get ready for an MMA showdown. Now